Hi, everyone. I'm really happy that you're here and joining us. I wish we could do this in person, but it's really great that we're having this opportunity to kind of talk about the music department and performing arts here at CBA. My background, I went to Penn State. I studied music education. I graduated in 2018, and then in the 2018 school year, I started at CBA, so I've been there for 2 years now. Um, my primary instrument is percussion. I studied classical percussion, but I'm a really big drum set player, and I also do a lot of piano and guitar and all the rhythm section instruments. But I studied classical music, so I'm kind of at all realms of the jazz scene, the theater scene, and the classical scene. So I hope to be able to kind of address everything here. We have a really great thing going for us here at CBA. We're very grateful to have the support system and people like Mrs. Macarella who help promote the arts here at CBA. And we have two students with us, Ryan O'Connor and Tim Spaltop. I'll let them introduce themselves, say what they do in the program and their grades. Ryan?
My name is Ryan O'Connor. I'm a rising senior at CBA. I'm involved in the jazz band and jazz combo, and I play trumpet for both of them. And I'm also involved in theater and choir as well.
My name is Tim Spaltoff. I'm going to be a junior next year. I'm involved in the jazz ensemble and the jazz combo. I play trumpet as well. I'm also the sound manager, so I run everything that has to do with sound in the musical and play and pit.
Awesome. All right. Mr. Acarella?
Yeah. All right. Excellent. Well, thank you guys. And we'll continue to hear from you as we go through this evening, and definitely sharing that student perspective of what it's like to be involved and continue to nurture that passion that you have is going to be great. But I'd like Mr. Lopez, if you could start out and if you could tell us all a little bit about the process of getting involved within jazz, within any aspect of being involved in music. What are those opportunities that are out there? And we'll start there.
All right, so we have a lot more options than we had 2 years ago. So this group of incoming freshmen is definitely going to be part of this growing experience at CBA. But right now, only one of our groups is an audition group, and that audition group is jazz combo, and that is only eligible for sophomores through seniors. So you wouldn't need to worry about that anyway. I'm going to break it down between instrumental and choral opportunities. One of the unique things about CBA is we are a big jazz school. Regardless of if you play jazz or not, it's not meant to discourage you from that. We call ourselves a jazz ensemble, but we don't just play jazz, right? We play a lot of rock music, tons of funk music, Latin music, and we kind of try to explore everywhere. So our main ensemble is our jazz ensemble. From there, after your freshman year, you're eligible to audition for our jazz combo, which is an honors group that focuses a little bit more on improvisation, but definitely dives way deeper into more difficult music, understanding music at a more functional level. In addition to that, we have a really big theater department at CBA, and one of the things that we pride ourselves in the Pegasus production company is that we provide the underscoring for the musicals. If you're familiar with musicals, there's a band that usually plays. In most schools, those are hired out professionals. At CBA, that's all students. That is the other audition group that you would get into, but we play the Broadway books. We don't water it down, and we provide the music for all of the musicals, and we're often on the stage. In addition to that, we are really big proponents of the rock music scene. And so we have a rock club. That rock club meets once a week, and it's where students can kind of get together. And we have a combination of both, like jam sessions, but also we have organized music, and depending on the group that we have, we're able to kind of form small bands and play for each other and give each other feedback. This year was the first year we really set off with the rock group, and we were on this trajectory, and we were actually going to plan a battle of the bands, which unfortunately did not get to happen, but that's something that we're looking to do next year. um, so one of the important things to know is we always get a lot of guitarists, and at many schools there are not opportunities for guitarists. There are many opportunities for guitarists here at CBA, because not only do you need guitar in the jazz band, the combo, the pit band, and the rock club, but we also do a pep band for a bunch of the big home basketball games. And what that pep band looks like is it's a glorified rock band with a bunch of horns, and we do covers of songs from a bunch of different decades, and it's really fun. Again, all students, and we that's open to every single instrument. In terms of choir, our main vocal group is our men's choir. Our men's choir meets as an extracurricular after school 2 times per week, and there, we work on some classical men's choir music, but we do a lot of creative cover music and arrangements of different types of pieces. So it's not limited to just one style of voice. In addition, the other big opportunity that I definitely want to mention is the Pegasus Production Company, so our theater company. I also teach vocals for that. We're always looking for vocalists, especially male vocalists. Most of our choir also does the musical, but there are many students who choose to just do the musical or just do the choir. You don't have to do both, but those opportunities do exist. And the last big choral opportunity is our music ministry. As I'm sure you're aware, we have Mass at CBA, and we provide all of the music for Mass. So our choir sings at all Mass, but we also have a lot of students who just choose to sing at Mass and don't sing with the choir, which is also totally okay. Um, for students who just want to sing or might sing in a church choir, and that's a hobby of theirs. And so we provide that opportunity as well as that student run. Not student run, excuse me, all a student ensemble. And yeah, that's an overview of all of our ensembles.
Okay. Where are where are some of the places that the ensembles have performed? So aside from music ministry and school masses and with down in the pit with Pegasus, where
Yeah.
are some of the places that you guys have performed?
So some of the big highlights. 2 years ago, we went to Cleveland during Rock and Roll Induction Week, and we performed in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. All of our groups performed in there. That was a really cool experience. We were planning this year to go to Nashville, Tennessee, which actually is going to be postponed, confirmed for next year, where we're going to have a performance for the Grand Ole Opry as the opening group, and in the Country Music Hall of Fame. In addition to that, our choir does a yearly performance with a professional choral group, the Arcadian Chorale, located in Freehold. So they get an opportunity to sing just as the CBA men's choir, and actually in with the entire choir as well for a holiday themed service, which is really great. In addition to that, we like to travel, and we're trying to boost up our competition schedule. So we'll always perform at Brookdale Community College for the arts festival there. We also do performances in different places throughout the state as competitions, as adjudications, and things like that. But very often our students will go and perform at small events within the CBA community, not in the building. So we might go travel, and the jazz combo might do a performance for a retirement community or the brothers home, at CBA events. And even one of the big things we were going to do this year is we were going to kind of travel around to different schools, and bring our students and share the CBA music experience with them. So there are a lot of opportunities, a lot of places to go, um, in this program. One of the only things that we haven't done yet, but is something that is potential in the works is bringing our pep band to maybe a couple away games, which would be a really unique experience to kind of play in a different place. But um, yes, it's in the building, but those pep band games, those big basketball games, are a lot of fun, a lot of big crowd, and we usually are right in the stage, right in center, all amped up and everything. It's a really great experience.
That's awesome. Yeah, one of the things we talked about last week was a couple of our CBA guys brought up the Colt Crazies,
Yes.
and being at the games with that student band group, and I think the pep band, you guys end up being such a huge part of that because you got the crowd going. There's that
Yeah.
liveliness, that spirit. It really showcases just what school spirit is all about.
Yeah, yeah, they really are a lot of fun, and it's unique because most schools have the traditional marching band. We don't have a marching band at CBA, so this is our opportunity to do something similar, except we get to do it. I like to compare it to like Seton Hall, like how Seton Hall does their basketball bands.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It gets everyone involved, and it's that rock environment.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's fantastic. Can you tell us a little bit about music education, kind of as a whole at CBA, and some of the changes in particular that have happened over the course of the past year with the music appreciation class and things along those lines?
Yeah, so two of the ensembles that we have actually count in our curriculum as courses. So the jazz ensemble is a course. You do get credit for it, you get a grade for it, and it meets during zero period. I'm not sure if everyone knows zero period, but that's before school. And same thing with jazz combo. So those are registered courses. In addition to that, during the day, every sophomore will take music appreciation, which is just a general music survey class where we cover just basic music concepts, but also world music, and we travel through time and we look at instruments and we kind of explore the different realms of music, not just older music, but we talk about music that's happening today, and students get a lot of opportunities, share what they listen to with each other, with the class, and kind of create that dialogue for how do we talk about music or the arts or support it. In addition, we have in the senior year, we have a AP Music Theory class, which is a College Board registered course. AP Music Theory, we dive deep into why music is the way it is. It's one thing to sound a certain way and play a certain way, but we dive into what is going on there and what are the structural components that get us to make music. This year we had a new course this year, which is being changed a little bit for next year to provide some more opportunity. We teach music history, but next year's course is going to be music history and theory. So it's actually an opportunity for students who might not be ready for AP music theory, but are still interested in theory, but they'll also get some of music history mixed into that and kind of show throughout time how music has changed.
That's awesome. That's a great little tweak there. I like that.
Yeah.
And so obviously with school being virtual since March, music is certainly, in the arts in general, or certainly that area of teaching and participation where, I mean, it is so heavily based on being together, uh, usually in the same room to be able to play as an ensemble or such. And I think one thing that's really been great from where I sit is to watch how you've shown that you don't have to be in the same room physically to continue to still enjoy music together, learn about music, play music. And so could you just talk for a little bit about the opportunities of how basically how you pivoted over these past few months, some of the opportunities that you have provided?
Yeah, so it was definitely a tough adjustment for not just music educators everywhere, but arts educators. It's been a really hard balance of figuring out the value of non-contact instruction. However, we shifted our mindset at CBA and decided this is what we're doing. This is the situation we're in. So instead of um, trying to force unrealistic things to happen. What we're doing is creating new opportunities to improve from home. So right now, we just finished last week our virtual music series, which is something that, if possible, if needed, we're going to continue in the fall. During this series, all students were able to get lessons via Zoom, private lessons, one-on-one lessons, as well as group lessons for, trumpets, for the saxophones, for just the rhythm section. But in addition to that, we also had a bunch of master classes, and we bring in professionals from the field, not just teachers, but real singer-songwriters, some university professors, university masters and undergraduate students to come in and work with the group at CBA and provide them some insight into the career or what they can be doing at home. So they are still getting that instruction one-on-one with a professional. In addition to that, one of the new tools that we've been using, I know a lot of people in middle school use this. It's something that we haven't used at CBA, but we actually just confirmed that we are getting it next year, the full subscription. It's called Smart Music. And what Smart Music is, it's a subscription-based software that CBA will provide students that allows, well, first off, me to go in and create assignments in which the student can play along to music that's scored with a full band, right? So it would feel like you're playing with the full band, and you get live time response as to your accuracy and where things were right and wrong and where you could have done better. And you can slow it down and kind of really dive in, but it's not just you playing the instrument to a computer. It feels like you're actually playing with a live band. And with this software, you can actually go in and explore the entire library. Because of the pandemic, they've basically uploaded just all of the music, all of the school music that exists. And you can go in as a student and just choose anything, explore the music and play along to it and choose different parts and kind of isolate it. So that's been a really, really good tool. And it's also available for voice as well. So it's something that we're going to utilize there. So although we're virtual, although we can't meet as an ensemble, that doesn't mean we can't learn. So we're really focusing on what are the things that that you don't have the time to do in the building when everyone's together, that you can do individually or in small groups or online to get better. So ultimately, while it's unfortunate we can't be together, in a lot of ways we're all getting a lot better at playing music, understanding music, and creating, like I said, that dialogue between really what is music. So we're not slowing down at all.
Ryan and Tim, what were those master classes like that you guys had the opportunity to take part in during this virtual time?
I'll talk. All right. So it was basically you'd meet for about an hour, half hour to an hour, and you'd have a professional basically talk to you, and you'd play music with him, and he'd give you his feedback, and you'd get feedback from other students as well, which is always great to have your peers tell you what they think, because everyone has different opinions about everything. So for me personally, it was great, even though we weren't there, to hear everybody's opinion and get to play with my classmates and fellow trumpet players.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you were able to grow as a musician at all?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Having those recordings and having the ability to play with that background music is really helpful. And I think I would definitely use that program again and use it to its full capacity.
Ryan, what about you?
The master classes for me, I felt like were just something different. Music is such an interesting thing that, like, getting different people's perspectives, because everybody hears something different. So getting a different instructor to come in, because Mr. Lopez and everybody all has their own perspective, but to get a new person listening, and sometimes that's what it takes to help you see something differently and improve your ability a little bit. So to get a different person every week coming in and saying different tips and how they made it work, and how they think about music. Sometimes it just clicks differently than it does for other people, and it just helped to have different views come and point out different things.
Mm-hmm. And now, so Ryan and Tim, this one's for you guys again. So Mr. Lopez told us a little bit about the different opportunities that CBA has in terms of getting involved. And you guys shared with us as we started out in your introductions, what specifically you do. But I'd like to ask you to go a little bit further into that. Tell us a little bit more about even, thinking back to freshman year and coming into CBA as a new school. What was it, what did you do in middle school that you continued to do in terms of playing an instrument maybe, or you hadn't played an instrument previously and you just picked it up when you came to CBA, and tell us a little bit about that trajectory.
So for me, I came in CBA, having played trumpet for 5 years already. And I actually ended up getting the performing arts scholarship for everything coming in, but I was only able to continue doing band because I chose to try out for crew, which was a great sport. But I realized for sophomore year, about halfway through, that it just wasn't for me. And I was missing doing other parts of performing because it conflicted too much with choir and theater. So I chose to leave it. And now this year I was able to partake in theater and choir, and it was just more for me. Crew is really fun, but performing on stage is just more of who I am, and I had more enjoyment in performing. But there's so many things at CBA that it's really hard to not find something that just kind of clicks for you.
Great. And Tim, why don't you tell us a little bit about your sort of journey through being involved specifically in music and the arts and helping out the shows with Pegasus?
Right. So I personally played trumpet since I was in 4th grade and piano since I was in 1st grade. And coming into CBA, I didn't know many people since I live about a half hour away. I was really able to connect with people through music, and I was able to express myself through music. I had kind of the same experience with Ryan. I took part in the pit last year for the musical, and I actually had a hip injury last year, so I wasn't able to do track, which I was doing cross country and indoor track. But this year I decided not to go back to cross country because I wanted to focus more on the music and wanted to expand in that because I think I could possibly have a future in that rather than running.
Mm-hmm.
But I have made so many friends just doing music, and there's so many programs in music and so many different kinds of things you can do, from performing at basketball games to performing behind actors. So I really think it's something for every musician. Even if you just try it and you don't like it, I think you'll find something.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you for those thoughts. Let's see, we've got a couple of questions coming in. So how about playing multiple instruments? Mr. Lopez, I don't know if you want to take this one, or Ryan or Tim, if you want to chime in as well, but playing multiple instruments, either one in one band, one in another, or 2 instruments in one band, you sort of trade on and off. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so one of my biggest feelings towards this music department is that every student should be able to play whatever they want. I am a big advocate for multi-instrumentalists. I'll give you an example. We have a student who came in as a freshman. His first concert, he played guitar. His second concert, he was the bass player. And now he's the main drummer for the jazz combo, and he's taking saxophone lessons. And we support that all the way. Because there's a lot of rhythm section instrumentalists, if you come in, especially as a rhythm section, so like, guitar, bass, drums, piano, very often students who do that can play multiple instruments. We provide that opportunity. I really advocate for playing as many instruments as possible if that's what you want to do, because personally that has been one of my greatest joys. Yes, I studied percussion, but a lot of my progression as a musician has come from the opportunity to play different instruments in different settings. So yes, you can play multiple instruments in different groups. Actually, you can play different instruments in the same group. We have students who alternate instruments during songs, so you'll see them have 2 or 3 instruments on them in a concert, and we rotate around like that. I'm a very big advocate for being able to play the instruments that you want to play.